In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Hello and welcome, my dear sisters, to our lesson today, which is going to be about Unit 5, Form, Meaning and Function, and Unit 6, Listen and Discuss, Grammar and Conversation. Let's start seeing the objectives of today's lesson. Today, inshallah, we will formulate sentences using adjectives. Okay, we will compare between things using all, both, neither, and none. Also, we're going to discuss the situation in the three dilemmas and identify present hypothetical conditionals and the past hypothetical conditionals. So today, inshallah, we will focus on imaginary, unreal situations. Then, apply if clauses in sentences, and finally, use real talk phrases in sentences and practice giving opinion. Practice giving opinion. Now, let's see. Okay, we'll start with form, meaning, and function. As you can see here, we will talk about, mainly today, we'll talk about adjectives. And when we talk about adjectives, it means that we are going to describe a noun, okay? Or sometimes we use it to describe pronoun, of course. But use adjective to describe nouns, okay? But let's see how we can form, or where can we put these adjectives. Place adjectives either after the verb be, either after be, or before a noun, or before a noun. And when we say be, it means that you are going to talk about okay, you should remember this, is, and are. Okay, so here, use adjective to describe nouns. Place adjectives either after the verb be or before a noun. Okay, so let's see the examples. Dolphins are intelligent. Okay, so here I used intelligent after the verb be. Cats are very independent. Giant pandas may become extinct in the future. Okay, dolphins are intelligent animals. Look, here we used actually both the verb be and the noun. Okay, so should the adjective should be in between the verb be and the noun I'm talking about. Okay, there are very independent animals. Again, okay, here the verb be and of course the noun. Giant pandas are an endangered species. Okay, so as you can see here, we put the adjectives after the verb be and before the noun. Also, we use become to describe a changing situation, like this one, okay? Giant pandas may become, okay, may become extinct in the future. They will vanish, for example, okay, or disappear. Okay, so we use become to describe a changing situation. Good. Now, let's see how we actually can form adjectives. Okay, and when we talk about this forming adjectives, we need to use suffixes. Okay, do you remember suffix or the suffix we talked about? Okay, okay, this one is like words or letters added after a verb, okay, or a noun sometimes. Why? Because adjectives are formed, okay, from verbs and nouns. Okay, formed from verbs and nouns. Many adjectives are formed by adding the following suffixes, okay? Either e, okay, full, less, ate, ale, okay, or al, of course, I've, ous, ic, ed, or ing. So you are going to use all of these suffixes in order to add. But you first need to know the meaning. Okay, you need to know the meaning of these suffixes when you add them to the verb or to the noun. Now look at here, the first one. We are going to talk about only one thing. Now, health is very important. Now we are talking about health. Okay, is very important. Okay, so here, when I'm using it as an adjective, okay, keeping pets healthy is very important. Okay, what happened actually here? We used the suffix y here. We added suffix y to health, okay, and it became what? It became healthy, okay, which is an adjective. Now, you won't get much use out of that bag. Okay, so we should add less here. The bag is useless. As you can see, I added less here. It means that you are going to, we don't need to use, for example, something that with full, okay, for example, useful. No, this bag is useless because we won't get much use, okay, out of this bag or that bag. And you can continue, of course, to see how you can form the adjectives out of nouns and verbs, okay? Good. Now, let's move to something else, which is called all, both, neither, and none. And we will talk about this. We are going to compare. Okay, we will use it also in comparing. But first, we are going to see when do we use all, both, neither, and none, okay, to compare, of course, between two or more things, like things, places, animals, or even people, okay? When I'm talking about, for example, all tigers, all cheetahs, all leopards and lions are big cats, okay? So when I use all, it means that you are going to put, for example, more than two, of course, okay? But here, when we use both, it means that you are going to talk about only two things, two animals, to people, and so on, okay? For example, both cheetahs and leopards are fast animals, okay? So I used only cheetahs and leopards. So I'm talking about or comparing between two, both. Neither. And we use neither, of course, okay? Like in this situation, neither tigers nor lions can be domesticated, okay? When I'm talking about negative situations here, okay? I'm comparing between two things, okay? We use neither, okay? Negative. Neither tigers nor, okay? Be careful about that. We will talk about it, inshallah, in a few minutes, okay? Neither tigers nor lions can be domesticated. And finally, none. The word none here or describe that or the negative, okay, from all, okay. For example, all tigers, cheetahs, leopards, and lions. When you compare about many things, okay. But when I use none, it means that none of the big cats can be domesticated. They are all wild animals. So, okay. So look here, we used all in affirmative sentences, and here in with none, okay, in negative sentence, it would give us, okay, it gives us negative meaning, okay. You cannot see, for example, not, okay. You only use none of the big cats can be domesticated, as you can see here, okay. Good. Now, we will move to also both and, neither nor, either or, okay. So when I'm talking about this, you should focus now, okay. Why? Because we use both and if we want to join things, okay, together. For example, here, look, all paired conjunctions, okay, they are all paired conjunctions. They are used to link two words, phrases, or even clauses of the same type, okay? For example, nouns are linked with nouns, verbs are linked with verbs, adjectives are linked with adjectives, and so on, okay? So, look here. My favorite animal is either an elephant or a camel. Now look, he used either here, okay, to join what? As you can see, my favorite animal is either an elephant or a camel. So I joined, okay, two nouns, elephant and camel, as you can see. Both camels and elephants are intelligent animals. Again, I use it to join two nouns, okay. When connecting two subjects with both and, be sure to use a plural verb, okay. What do I mean by this? Look, both my father and his boss were, so I am using plural verb here, okay, were present in the meeting. Okay, present here. So here, both my father and his boss were present in the meeting. And when connecting to a subject using either or neither nor, the choice to use a singular or a plural depends on what? Actually, it depends on the subject that is closer, okay, to the verb. Let's have an examples, okay. Neither my uncle nor my brothers, okay, so we have here plural, okay, want to see that documentary, okay. So I used here what? Singular verb or plural one? I used the plural, okay. So here neither my uncle nor my brothers. What about neither my brothers nor my uncle here? Okay, what about this one? Okay, so when I'm talking about this one is singular, so the verb should be singular too, like wants to see that documentary. Okay, very good. Now we will move to Unit 6, listen and discuss on pages 82 and 83. Okay, and let's see actually the title of this unit. What would you do? This is the title of the unit. What would you do? Now, I need you to think about these three questions. What do you think the words moral and ethical mean? Moral and ethical mean. Then, have you ever been tempted to do something that wasn't right? Now, I need you to think about this one, okay? Have you ever been tempted to do something that wasn't right, okay? Number 3, do you think in every situation there is always a clear right and wrong thing to do? Okay, now when I want you to think about this, it means that you are going to give opinion or to express opinion, okay? Why? Because here, for example, in the second question here, have you ever been tempted, okay, to do something that wasn't right? For example, someone encouraged you to do something wasn't right or something like that, tempted, okay, as you can see here. And here, do you think in every situation there is always clear right and wrong, okay? So here you need to think about this and give us the answer. Of course, you are going to on pages 82 and 83 and read about the lesson and discuss the article there, okay, about the dilemmas, the 3 dilemmas you have. Then come back to see the questions or the answer on the next slide. Now, let's go to the quick check vocabulary. Complete each sentence with one of these words: dread, morally, motivate, responsible, tempted, and vanish, as you can see. Let's start with number 1. Who is? Using who, of course, we'll ask about people, as you can see. Who is for cleaning up this mess? Okay, so what do you think the answer is? Yeah, it is responsible. Who is responsible for cleaning up this mess? Number 2, my mother's cookies always, moments after she takes them out of the oven. It means that my mother's cookies will finish, okay, or disappear, for example, which is vanish. 3, the beautiful weather helped me to go outside and get some exercise, okay. Motivate, encouraged, for example, encourage. Number 4, people should feel that it's wrong to buy stolen goods, okay. So here, morally, I'm talking about morally. 5, I taking final exams next week. Here, dread means like I scare or something like that. Dread, okay. I dread taking final exams next week. Number 6, I was to watch the film on TV, but I made myself study instead, okay. I attempted. I wanted to watch a film actually, okay. Someone encouraged me, or the film was strong enough to watch it, but I made myself study instead, okay. Then we will move to comprehension, of course. Answer the questions. You have 5 questions here. Let's see. What is Ross? Why is Ross at the airport? Okay, so I'm using here the cause and reasons. Okay, give us the reason. He's flying to his brother's wedding. Okay, Then, what does Ross decide to do in the dilemma we talked about? Yeah, he does not help the man, but hurries to catch his flight. Catch flight. 3. What is Mike considering doing and why? Okay, do you remember Mike when he was cheating? Yeah, he is considering cheating on his test because he can't remember the answers. 4. What is the problem on the lifeboat? Okay, so here there is only enough space for 9 passengers. Okay, and they were 10 passengers. Okay, not 9. Okay, so the boat or the lifeboat, okay, the space, enough space for 9 passengers. 5. Why is Mariana tempted to not tell the truth about her science grade? And actually because then she will be able to buy a cell phone and her parents will be proud of her. Okay, so she will be able to buy a cell phone and her parents will be proud of her. Good. Now we will move to grammar. Okay, pages 84 and 85. And today, guys, please focus. Why? Because we are going to talk about something unreal. Okay, something that imaginary. Okay, so we will start with the hypothetical conditionals. Okay, today we will have 2 kind of hypothetical conditionals. The first one is the present. Okay, and the second one is the past. Okay, so the first one is the present hypothetical conditionals and the second one is the past. We are going to see when do we use them, the similarities and differences between these 2 hypothetical conditionals. Okay, and of course how we can form them. Okay, let's start with number 1. Actually, we use the present hypothetical conditionals to talk about what? Imaginary, okay, unreal situation, imaginary situations. The simple past tense, now we will talk about the characteristics of these, how we can form actually this one. Okay, the simple past, okay, tense is used, okay, in the F clause. So here we are talking about what? The F clause and the result clause. Of course, we'll divide the conditional here into 2 parts. Okay, 2 parts. The first part with F, as you can see, we will use the F clause. Okay, this is the first part, and the second part is the result clause. Okay, and of course, as I said, we will use the past simple tense with F clause, and of course we will use would, could, okay, or might, okay, in the result clause. Actually, let's see some examples here. If you asked me my opinion, as you can see, we used ed, okay, and this is the regular verb, and this one is irregular. Okay, if you asked me my opinion, I would tell you the truth. As I said, imaginary. Okay, asking and giving advice, for example. Okay, do you remember this? Okay, so here, if you asked me my opinion, okay, but you haven't or you didn't ask me about my opinion, but I would tell you the truth. This is the result. Okay, this is the result clause. What about if we knew where she lived? Okay, what will happen actually? We could send her flowers. Again, unreal situation. Unreal. Okay, this is the first one. We talked about the present hypothetical condition, talking about imaginary situations. Okay, imaginary. Okay, good. What about the past? Okay, and look, please, when we talk about the past hypothetical one here, okay, conditionals, we will use it to talk about things that did not happen in the past. Okay, things that didn't happen or did not happen in the past. Okay, so here they are often used to express even regret or criticism. Okay, things that did not happen in the past okay? And of course, we will use it to express regret or criticism. Of course, in the present hypothetical one, we use the past simple tense. But now we will talk about the past hypothetical conditionals. So we need to use the perfect tense, okay? So we use the past perfect, okay, in the F clause, of course. Okay, as I said, we have two parts, okay? And what about the result clause here? Okay, we should use, okay, as you can see, would have, could have, or might have. Why? We said that we are going to use the past perfect, okay? Good. Now, if I had tutored him, okay, it means that like teached him or taught him, sorry, he might have passed the test, okay? So, but actually, I didn't tutor him, so he didn't pass the test, okay? So, as I said, things that did not happen in the past, okay? So, now I am expressing regret, okay? Regret. Look, if I had tutored him, had, of course, the past perfect, had tutored him. Why? Because using here the past participle, okay? He might have passed, okay? Also here, V3, the past participle, have passed the test, okay? So I'm expressing regret here. Okay, if Audra had been honest, she would not have gotten into trouble. Okay, now I am expressing what? Criticism, okay? So I'm criticize this one. But actually, Audra didn't tell the truth, so she did get into trouble, okay? Look here. If Audra had been honest, she would not have gotten into trouble, okay? So the first one, express here, regret. Okay. And the second one, criticize here. I'm criticizing things. Okay, criticism. If Audra had been honest, okay, which is not, okay, she would not have gotten into trouble. Okay, good. Now, we will move to another point of grammar lesson here. Okay, implied conditionals. What do I mean by implied? It means that something that you cannot see inside or in written context or something like that, okay? Just like implying something, okay? Sometimes the F clause is implied rather than stated directly, okay? So we cannot write, for example, but you can understand from this sentence, okay? So here I'm talking about implying things, implied, okay? So here, look, we would have helped you, we would have helped you if you had asked us, okay? But actually, you didn't ask for help, okay? You didn't ask for help. So here, we would have helped you, okay? Then, I would have called the police, of course. I would have called the police, okay, if I had been there. For example, you witness an accident or something like that, okay? But if you were there, of course, you would have called the police. What would I do without you? Okay, now like I'm implying things, okay? If you weren't here, it means that I need your help, okay? And what would I do without you? Okay, so now, as I said, implied conditionals, okay? Implied. The last thing we have in grammar, okay, today, which is as if and as though for unreal situations, okay? And when we talk about as if, okay, for example, someone talks about a topic or something like that, okay? But he's not, for example, specialized in this field, okay? For example, I'm talking about medicines or medical treatment and procedures and so on, okay? While this man is not a doctor, actually, okay? So, for example, I could say, he talks as if he were an expert in the field, for example. Okay, so here we can use as if, okay, as if and as though, okay, plus the past or past perfect verb to suggest. Okay, so why? To suggest that something is unreal or untrue. Okay, so he talks as if he were, okay, he were. Now look, okay, do you remember that when we said that I were, okay, if I were, okay, I'm talking about the imaginary. Okay, so here he talks as if he were an expert in the field. Okay, and they act as though they had not cheated on the test. Okay, so here we used as if and as though, okay, to suggest that something is unreal or untrue. Of course, either was or were can be used, okay, but with the subject I, he, she, or it, however, we or were is considered more formal, okay, and generally used in writing, in writing, okay, in writing, okay, so formally and in writing we would use were, okay, not was, we would use were, talking about generally, okay, more formal and generally used in the writing. And it's okay when you say, for example, if as if he was an expert, okay, but in writing for and talking about generally is used here, talking about more formal, okay, as you can see here, he talks as if he were an expert in the field. Okay, good. Finally, we will move to conversation, okay, and on page 86 here, as you can see, let's see the real talk, how we can use these words. For example, instead of saying bad, something bad, okay, so we would say rotten, okay, the word rotten, okay, and I wouldn't put it past him. It means that I like you, for example, I believe he would do that, okay, and I expect he would do that, okay, and so on. Blow the whistle on, it means what? To reveal and put a stop to wrongdoing, okay? So here, as you can see, blow the whistle to stop something, okay? To stop something wrong. Call doesn't mean that you are going to call or something like that using a cell phone. No, okay? It means that you are going to decide or take the shots, okay? Or be in charge, calling the shots, okay? So call here, it means decision, okay? Finally, we will move to giving an opinion. Actually, these are the phrases used to give an opinion. For example, in my opinion, okay, I'm talking about this topic, in my opinion, okay, I'd like to go, for example, or to take this trip, okay, and to talk about opinion here also, you could use I feel or I believe, one of them, okay, either I feel or I believe. As far as I am concerned, okay, also the way I see it, and it seems to me that, and I would think or say, okay, only one of them, okay, not both, okay, you cannot use them both together. I would think or I would say that, okay, then you will state your opinion, okay, using it as like an introduction to when you're saying the opinion and so on. We have reached our last show here, our last slide. As you can see, we learned today formulate sentences using adjectives, compare between things using all, both, neither, and none, discuss the situation in 3 dilemmas, identify present hypothetical conditionals and the past hypothetical conditionals, apply if clauses in sentences, finally use real talk phrases in sentences and practice giving opinion. I would like to thank all of you for watching us today, and inshallah I will see you at the next lesson. Goodbye.